Pastor Zachery passed away as a result of cocaine addiction, drug addiction, being an addict. This information's been spread on the media and we all know it. What concerns me is the fact that it seems like everyone's snickering at Pastor Zachery. He pretended like he was a man of God, but he was really a drug addict. He was lying. I question whether those two things are incongruent. Drug addiction. Let's talk about drug addiction. Do you know how many people are struggling with addiction on a day-to-day basis? A person can be completely free from addiction for, say, a period of 10 years. And that person could go on a trip under too much pressure. They know how to find the dealers. They know. And it's called relapse. Relapse can be deadly. There are so many occasions where a person who is struggling, battling, genuinely trying to be free of the demons that afflict, and they relapse. Do you know that relapse is the most dangerous portion of addiction for a drug addict? Because their body is free from the drugs, but the person's mind remembers the amount of drugs that they used to require to get that high. So a drug addict who is relapsing may get the wrong amount of drugs, too much drugs for what they really would need at that time, and use it like they would have when they were on a daily, hourly addiction cycle. And that often leads to overdose. A lot of overdose addicts are addicts that have been attempting to recover, and during a relapse binge, they lose that one last time, the last time. Everything I see, everything I hear in the media, the way the story is, all of the dope he had, the use of the private hidden room, all leads me to believe that Pastor Zachery was a recovering addict, like myself, who had that one last binge. I've been to meetings where I've been surrounded by different people who are recovering from addiction, and the newly recovered can hardly tell their story because they're dope dealers on the phone with them like a witch, like a lovelorn witch. Beep, beep, beep. Where are you? I haven't seen you in a week. Why haven't you come around? Don't you need something? You need me to spot you? The cycle of addiction. What really happens, it is so hard for an addict to give up the lifestyle, give up the druggy friends, give up the culture, the safety of the known, and the safety of whatever addiction that person has. A whole culture of addict lifestyle. It's tough. I can only imagine the pressure that Pastor Zachery was under. His church was relatively small, and then a brief period of time, he just attracted so many people with his genuineness. His church became a mega church overnight. That sort of pressure for a person who's in recovery could easily be too much and lead to a relapse cycle. Don't laugh at Pastor Zachery. Don't make fun of him. Make fun of yourself. Pastor Zachery may have sniffed cocaine, but his church was on crack. Pastor Zachery may have sniffed cocaine, but his church was on crack. The signs of a drug addict? Somebody missed that? Nobody ever noticed the white powder on his nose sometimes, the constant sniffling, the cold, the bloodshot eyes, sometimes talking really fast, being ridiculous, other times being sober, and impatient? Who missed that? Don't sit up and make fun of a man who was trying to recover, dealing with a relapse. Let's think about the church who supported him in his addiction by not allowing him to come out and seek help. We all know that the moment a pastor comes out and says, hey, I'm not perfect, I have a problem, that's the church's sign to leave. He loses his job, no longer can support his family because he has an addiction and a struggle. We as a church need to use this as an opportunity to allow our pastors to come out and be able to go to the meeting and say, hey, I've been in recovery for 2 weeks now, and the monkey is on my back. It's hard for me today. I feel like I'm losing the battle today, but I came to this meeting to be with you guys because otherwise, if I had taken another step, I'd be in a hotel like the W Hotel with a whole bunch of dope surrounding me, and I might be dead in the morning. We need to be able to say that. Or what about the person who struggles with violence addiction? They should be able to come to the meeting and say, today I felt like beating my wife. But instead I came here to talk it over with you, to tell you about my anger problem, to tell you why I wanted to snatch that prophet's hair weave off and beat the life out of her. They should be able to come to the meeting and say that instead of us snickering at the imperfections of human beings on the news media, and still we don't talk about it. Is anybody talking about it other than me right now? We have imperfect people with addictions and problems pretending to be perfect in order to keep a job. How many of us wouldn't pretend to be perfect in order to keep our jobs? And what about homosexuality? This foolishness that we aren't homosexuals in the church. Let's get over ourselves. Let's take off the white sheets and quit lynching ourselves. This is ridiculous. Oh, and I'm just going to put this out here. God loves homosexuals. Anybody want to challenge me on that? Go to hell. Now, moving on, back to my topic. The day when we can be honest with ourselves is the first day that we actually start to be the church, because liars don't tarry in God's sight. And as long as we as human beings are requiring our pastors to be liars in order to keep a job, we're probably all on our way to hell. I appreciate our video responses and comments below. I do not screen comments nor videos. You can put it down there and I will read it, listen to it, and see if I change my mind.